Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio.
Hello, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Fox Jar, on the show this evening is the one and only Southside and a legend. Yes, a legend. Albert, how we doing, gentlemen?
I'm good, Paul. How are you two?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. How are you, Southside?
Aye, good for a Friday, mate. Looking forward to the show. I'll give Stephen and William a shout out in the YouTube channel since they're in there together, start of the show. And if one of you want to give the show a phone, we'll phone you back and come on to the show tonight and you can talk to the legend himself, Albert.
Aye, no extra charge. Right through to Albert, you know what I mean?
That's it, free of charge.
I talk to myself, I know, mate. I don't charge myself.
If you phone him on his OnlyFans page, it costs you money, Southside.
Yeah, it does, you guys. He's got a few thousand subscribers now.
There's some horrible photos in there, I know. Scare your mind if you see them. Don't go in there.
Seems to be if you put a picture of a dog up, you get loads of followers.
All right.
You just take your word for it, Southside.
You don't know what to say.
Oh, what are we doing with the dog here?
Oh, dear. Yeah. You done me there, mate. You done me there. Often a short of words, but you done me there. Anyway, listen, we'll go an interview for John Suter. We'll be here for him later on, John. We'll get a game tomorrow, 3 o'clock on a Saturday. Albert, what do you make of that as a novel idea?
I'll never catch on, mate. I'll never catch on. It's unusual. That's long lies, and actually you get your breakfast and your dinner before you actually get to see the football. It's unusual, isn't
it? Aye. And finished at tea time, go to the pub at a reasonable time. Yeah, and everybody enjoy themselves. Never catch on Southside, not it?
Nah, it's a wee novelty, mind you, to get a game at 3 o'clock at Ibrox. And it helps a lot of people that travel far and wide to get to Ibrox at times. So Saturdays, most people are usually happy with, and if it's 3 o'clock, or the better for the majority. So, aye, it'll be good to get a 3 o'clock kickoff.
I'd really like to deep dive into the economics and that. This is not the time or the place, but with the paltry amount that Scottish football gets for their TV deal, I wonder if you could break it down to see if it's actually worth it, Albert. The economics you lose, yeah?
Oh, I can't. I don't think we need to dive too deep into it to tell you it's still worth it. But bear in mind, by the way, we get told by the SFA this is the best deal in history that the Scottish football's ever had in history. So we're not doing a
eternity. That's like saying that the film last week took in more money and gone for the win, didn't it?
Aye, it's like turn a tenner up with $3 bob, know what I mean? So we're getting a fortune here. We need to watch. And we don't want to upset anybody in case they say, well, we might not cover your football anymore.
Aye, I just wonder, Southside. Huh? You are somebody that goes to all the games away from him particularly. You know, I just wonder if it's worth it for all the teams, mate, the dough.
No, it'll not be once you've broke it all done and then you see exactly what you get. So we're getting dictated to by TV. We know the deal's not very good. You just hope that when it changes in a year, a season or two, I think there'll be more money involved in the next contract that gets agreed. But even when they agree a decent contract, you're still going to be messed about as a football fan, travelling away from home with the kick-off times, because they all seem to want to favour certain slot times, and the clubs just have to go with it. So I think going forward, the fans will always be inconvenient stops.
Well, the big sort of story, well, no story, the big event that happened today was the season ticket rules came out, and I wonder if GBs can get me one of the ones for full horror.
Aye.
Because mine's in the 9 on it, I think, Southside.
Aye. Mine's is quite high, I know. A lot higher than I thought. But aye, it is what it is. You know, it's renewal time. But I read sort of the way they drove it up about the Ibrox Roar and all that and stuff, you know. But no, it's this time of year and we're all going to be short a few quid between now and August. As we,
what about if we get an idea for that OnlyFans page of his and we go for the more mature stuff, maybe we get a rebate.
Aye, we could, aye. Bridge will be getting a rebate, won't he?
Oh, he deserves it, mate. He deserves it. War hero.
Aye.
You know.
I was just wondering how many shares he actually had the other night when he was saying he could have my shares if they want. I'm thinking, oofed. Must have a few shares, eh? Ox, the bridge man. You'll have them behind that telly he's got.
If they get the Bridges shares, that takes them up to 90%.
That's Bridges' wallet you're talking about.
Well, you're going to commit suicide and just jump off his wallet. That's what you do.
He's the only guy I know when he done his recliner in that cinema room of him, he put his wallet underneath the recliner seat when it was out. Acted like a poofy. Anyway, so we got a game tomorrow, 3 o'clock on a Saturday, and the season tickets come out, and it's important we stick by the team. Look, albeit we know that it's not been good enough in the league, and we can look at loads of games, if, buts and maybes. Yeah, but we are, and we have to deal with it. Hopefully get a result tomorrow, get this Ibrox hoodoo off our back, and we can move forward, mate.
Aye, it'd be nice, mate, but it's not really important, is it, tomorrow? It's the Thursday game, so as far as I'm concerned, tomorrow's about getting everybody fit and getting the players that have not been playing. I don't think that's going to happen, but that's what should be happening, and taking care of the ones like Cherny and people like that who are actually we're not quite sure if they're going to be fit for that game.
I don't even think if there's any doubt at all, if he could play tomorrow, but you're not sure, I would leave it.
I wouldn't play him at all, mate. I wouldn't play him at all. Even if he is fit, I wouldn't play him. I would just say no.
It's one of the games tomorrow. You don't know what Rangers are going to turn up for. Are we going to put in a bad first half or a good first half and a bad second half, or is it going to be the other way about? That's how it's been at times. And plus, getting teams goals at a start, and having to fight back to get a result. So hopefully we can eradicate things like that. Hibs will come with a bit of confidence. I think they'll come and want to attack us. Our defence is leaking goals. Our record at Ibrox in the last while hasn't been good. So they're 15 games undefeated in the league. So, I mean, if I was coming in and I was in today with Hibs, I'd be thinking, right, we'll go here and have a right go and attack them. They like goals, and if we can score, most teams in the last while have scored roughly 2 against us. So that's why I think they'll come and maybe look at it. But they've been playing a certain style, and heard Neil McCann talking about it, that we've watched it and stuff, and he studied it and stuff like that. But it's down to the players to show attitude and application, first and foremost. If they go out with the attitude and come back with the stuff that Barry mentioned last week, falling back into certain traits and come out like that at the start, then they'll not get a result. So I'm hoping that we'll come out and start fast and want to rectify this result. Get a result against them, a win at Ibrox, and that carries momentum on to the game on Thursday, Ox at Ibrox.
All right. And what about Cherny? Would you play him?
If there was any risk to him, no. I wouldn't play him. I would rest him, give him the extra time, let him train.
I'm swinging to Albies way. Albert, so I don't think I would maybe even put him on in the squad tomorrow. Yeah, Albert.
Well, you've got to look at the economics here and be sensible at this. The Hibs game, if you win it tomorrow, doesn't mean nothing. But if you win that Bilbao game, it could be potentially worth millions of pounds. So you've got to go after the important 2 games. and disregard. You want to win tomorrow. You've got a squad there that should win tomorrow, no matter who you put out. But you've got to be sensible with it, mate. You really have. So I wouldn't be playing. In fact, I wouldn't be playing Suter, and I wouldn't be playing Balogun either, and I wouldn't be playing Cherny, and I wouldn't be playing Raskin. I would keep these players out this team. And there's a few others, I suppose, I wouldn't be playing. Who you should be playing is like Cortez, Danilo, Balogun. Don't play him either. I don't know if I say that, but you've got to give yourself every chance for Thursday. Every chance, because it's going to be hard enough, even with a fully fit squad.
Suter's suspended for Thursday night, Albert.
That's why I wouldn't play him on Saturday.
Right.
I'd put the defence that you're going to play on Thursday in to get them settled.
All right.
So, anyway.
Southside?
I get that you might want to sort of put a formation in defence, maybe for the game coming up on the Thursday. I get that, but I just think we're at home. We're Rangers, and we expect to win, and we want to win. So I'd play Suter because he's not going to play on Thursday. I probably wouldn't play Balogun, but apart from that, the rest of them would boot in the park. Apart from maybe Cherny, only because it was a hamstring strain, and we're getting to a crucial part of the season for us. So I would maybe rest him out the squad altogether just to make sure he's ready for the Thursday. I think he's got enough games in him and played enough to be able to do that. So and maybe try and make a couple of wee changes about the team. But apart from that, no, we need to go full steam ahead. Canterbury getting beat at Ibrox against Hibs. So it's about 7 years since the last game at Ibrox, I think, beat us. So and they're a good run of form, so it's down to us to stop it, and hopefully we will.
Aye, it's going to be interesting. So, Albert, if anybody had a slight doubt in normal business, you'd maybe play them because you didn't have a European match coming up tomorrow. But because of that, you would be cautious. Would that be fair? Aye,
you'd play them anyway if you've never done European football. Of course you would. Because it doesn't mean anything, even if they break down and they're out for the rest of the season. It makes no difference, mate. Because you're playing for nothing. Everybody's told me that some people wrote the league off months ago. But it makes no difference now. So everybody's just chucked the league in. I think even the management team's chucked the league in. Just winning games for the sake of winning games that don't mean anything is just pointless to me. We're losing the league by 1 point or 40 points. It makes no difference. You've lost the league, mate. I don't care. I don't bother about this. Oh, we need to get the points down to so it looks more reasonable. The league's gone. It's gone. 1 point, 40 points is gone. The whole thing is you don't win the league. That's all I'm interested in, winning the league. Win it by 1 point, win it by 40 points, win it in goal difference. It makes no difference, mate. You've won it. It's getting your priorities right, and the priorities for it is Europe. The 2 European games. That is the remainder of your season. That is our season right there and then. So you've got to give yourself every chance to try and progress, and it'll be difficult, really difficult. By all accounts, this is a really decent team. So you've got to. I mean, we're already behind the 8 ball regarding Sutton and the suspensions. I think Diamandi suspended as well. So you've got to really think about this and say to yourself, "Come on, we need to do something here." And you might say, "I play all of them against Hibs and like Diamandi and Suter. They're suspended." But they're not for the second game. It's the second game you need to worry about as well. It's the 2 games we need to worry about. I would say we need to keep ourselves on the tie at Ibrox and then see what we can do to get them over there. That's just my way of thinking. It's prioritising the games. It's all right saying they're on a 15-game run. That's fine. But it really doesn't mean anything, does it? Come on, honestly. Stop the run. That's great and dandy. Let's go out and stop them with and Salah, Fernandes, the young boys, Rice. Let's stop them with them. Let's see if we can put the boys out there and say, look, here's a challenge for you all. See if you can stop this, stop their run. But nah, you've got to prioritise it, mate. That's just the way I think about it.
I don't disagree, mate. In some respects, I don't really. Outside.
Listen, it's Hibs. They're on a good run now. But we played them in 24 Premiership matches, and the last time they beat us was February 2018, Albert, right? We battered 56 goals by them to their 23 against us. And we beat them. You know, we want momentum, you want to kick on. Barry and that's in to do a job and try and get this team into some type of form, make sure they've got a will to win and the desire and the hunger's there. That's all it. But you need to be able to coach it and have the tactics to carry out the game plan. And hopefully we'll do that tomorrow. So it's not a dead rubber for me in a game. I want to go and see Rangers win 3 points. And it'll be down to him who he picks. I would expect Suter to start and play the game. He's the strongest defender we've got when he's fit, when he's been in the team. So, no, for me, he starts and we go out and we do a proper job on Hibs tomorrow night, no matter what the points difference is. It's not mathematically there yet. It will be at some point, I would imagine, but it's no. We've got a game to win tomorrow, and that's what we do. That's what we keep telling us about. We expect for our club to win games, so hopefully we go out and we win tomorrow and we rectify this record at Ibrox. It's been poorer the last number of weeks.
Right, think it this way. Take it another way. You all like Barry Ferguson. I don't dislike the guy myself. Take it his thinking and take it Patrick Stewart's thinking. If I was Patrick Stewart, I'd be sort of thinking, say, I'm going to watch this and see how he manages this situation, where we all sit right at this moment, how he sits. That's what I'd be doing. This is part of his interview for the job, say. Right? If I was Barry Ferguson, I'd be thinking, say to myself, I think he's going to back Patrick Stewart and the club directors are going to be looking at me to see how I handle this, to see where my priorities lie. As a manager, mate, forget about Hibs and forget about who we're playing and forget, as a manager, how is he going to handle the situation? Is he going to be a proper manager now and work this out and say, no, I've got to think of the club here. And the game is most important for the club is the UEFA Cup games. They're the most important. Right at this particular, it might not be that we're still in the league race. I wouldn't be sitting saying this if we're in the league race and with a chance of winning the league. But we've no. So you're sitting looking, going, right, this is a job interview. If this part of a job interview, Neil McCann, Barry Ferguson, a whole lot of them, just to say, right, okay. Now, see if they actually come in and he brought him in at the end of the season and he does do this right in their eyes, which is play them all, take injuries, or playing with your suspensions and weaken the team for against the European team. Well, I'd be sitting saying, and what was you thinking then in the interview? I'd be asking him, no, you knew the situation, you knew the club were financially, okay, we've got buyers coming in potentially, right? But as we sit at the moment, they're no in. So what was your thinking here regarding getting into that game? And if he turns around and says, well, I wanted to beat Hibs because they're on a 15-game run, what good's that to us? What does that mean to us? How does that help our club beating their taking their 15-run game away for them, stopping it? It means nothing to us. It really doesn't. And you go, well, we've beat them all these times. That doesn't mean anything either. You don't get anything for that. You get money, you get prestige, and you get European placements for winning the game against Bilbao. So you've got to give yourself every chance.
I get that.
I would take it. I'd take it for a job interview situation. He needs to manage this situation right.
I get that, and that's because we gave ourselves too much leeway between us and them, mate. We'll blow it. Really silly games. Really silly games.
Oh, it's their fault, mate.
But some of the squad's got to play tomorrow. I get what you're saying, Albert, right? I get it 100%, right? It's the bigger game out the two, right? I get it. But, I mean, if you're using that logic, then you'd have to rest at least 5-6 of their players tomorrow. So they don't get injured. But you could get injured on Monday if they go into training or turn or whatever. And they could get injured in training. So you'd have to look at it and you'd be looking to drop, 5-6 players tomorrow night? Tomorrow afternoon. Don't play Raskin.
Yep.
You don't play Tav.
If you can get away with it, I wouldn't play Tav.
Don't play Ignaman.
No. Don't play Dessers.
You don't play Dessers.
Play Cortez. Play Danilo, play Cortez. They're need match fitness. So you play them. Because as they sit at the moment, the two of them are not going to be much good to you in the European game anyway because of their lack of match fitness and their lack of game time.
I'm not sure if they're in the European squad.
They are now, mate. They are now. Aye.
Oh, that was well done. Right, I'll tell you what we'll do. We've mentioned John Shooter there quite a bit in our debate, but we'll hear from John Shooter and then we'll get the phone lines open. You's all right with it?
Yeah.
Aye. Hopefully we'll get a few callers tonight and put the points across to whatever they think.
They're all sitting right patiently. I don't know if you heard last night, I said you were going to tip the winner of the Grand National right as well as a Super 6, mate.
Oh, did you? Aye.
Oh, well, aye. It's my duty, innit?
Of course. Just stick it out there and hopefully I get another doing and then you can get a big smile on your face. But aye, I've done one for the National.
It must be the dearest smile I've ever had.
We'll hopefully get a few callers tonight. There's loads of things to talk about, the takeover, the story across the city. If they want to talk about that, they can talk about the team tomorrow, the game, what's more important. Thursday night, what we're expecting about the game at Ibrox. No, there's loads to talk about.
All right, let's hear from John, sir.
John, great character to get that win at the weekend, but what do you feel needs to improve to make sure it's maybe not as dramatic this time around?
Yeah, obviously a lot needs to improve from how we started the game, conceding the goals we did. Obviously it's good that we came back and scored the goals, but we should need 4 goals to win a game, so yeah, it's something we've been looking at, it's something that we have to improve.
The manager was talking about old bad habits creeping back in. Is that something the players are conscious of, and what do you feel they are?
Yeah, I think we obviously didn't start the game well. We were probably too deep. We didn't keep the ball, we forced it, with too many turnovers. We gave them a chance to get on top of us. We didn't have any control of the game. And that led to them getting chances and scoring. And that's something that can't happen whether we're at home or away. We can't give teams starts like they did.
Is that a concern in any way, or is that something that you know what the issues are and you can sort them and you can still get results?
Yeah, a lot of them were basic errors, so it's something we need to eradicate from the game. But yeah, as I said, we can't let them score 2 goals early on and give ourselves a mountain to climb.
The manager's been changing the system as well at the back. How have you found that, and what do you make of the playing in the different systems with the 3 or the 4 at the back?
Yeah, it's been different. I think we've chopped and changed through different games. In Europe, we've done really well with the back 3 away from home, and yeah, it's something you just need to adapt to. The manager obviously wants to play certain ways in certain games, and it's something as players we have to adapt to.
John, in terms of your own form this season, would you say it's been up there since you arrived in terms of the best form?
Yeah, apart from the month and a half I was out injured. Apart from that, I've played pretty consistently. And yeah, I've played consistently. I've played, obviously got back in the Scotland team and stuff like that, so yeah, I'd probably say it was.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the Scotland stuff there as well. You now appear to be the first pick in the centre defence. That's a huge boost for you as well.
Yeah, I think that was always something I aimed for in the summer, was to get playing regularly here, play as many games as possible here, and then hopefully get back involved in the national setup, and thankfully I've been able to do that.
Where are you at with your contract situation?
To be honest, I've not spoken about that for a while. To be honest, there's been loads of changes at the club, so that situation sort of went on the back burner. I've not spoken to anyone about it for a while.
Are you happy with that in terms of keeping a low profile on that front?
Yeah, I want to concentrate on my football and let others deal with what they have to deal with, and hopefully it all gets resolved. Yeah.
Would that be something then, whenever who the permanent manager is, that's one thing that you'd like to be addressed fairly soon?
Yeah, but as I say, there's so much going on at the club just now. I'm sure when there's a bit of stability and stuff, then that'll get sorted.
Is there a feeling that in the games at the moment the team are just making it a lot harder for themselves than they need to be?
Yeah, well obviously if we concede that we did at the weekend, the goals that we give away, it's going to be harder, and it puts more pressure on us to score 3-4 goals, which we should need to win a game. And obviously everyone has spoken about the character it takes to come back, which it does, but we shouldn't be giving ourselves that mountain to climb in games.
Can that be sort of extra exhausting almost? I think it's 5 of the last 7 games that you've gone 2-0 down. Is that just having to put in extra effort and making the game tougher?
Yeah, I think it is. But as I say, when you can see goals that we have and made the mistakes we did, then you're going to need to do it. But I think the boys have came back, especially the other night. We came back really well, and yeah, it kept a good feeling going.
As one of the boys that's been here for a few seasons now, have you found yourself being a bit more vocal kind of on the pitch and in the dressing room when things perhaps aren't going as well?
I think I'm just the same as I was when I joined. Just trying to do everything I can for the team, whether that's games, training or in the dressing room. So yeah, just the same.
John, it's one clean sheet in 13 games, which is quite a galling statistic. And clean sheets something defenders still pride themselves on above results.
Yeah, of course. You want to keep clean sheets as a defender, and that stat's not good enough, especially here. So it's something we need to get back to keeping clean sheets from now to the end of the season.
There's a lot of big characters. I mean, Jack Butland and yourself. Do you, as a defensive unit, speak about these things separately and trying to sort them out?
Yeah, of course. Nobody at the back wants to concede goals. Nobody wants to concede goals, and that's the mentality we need to get in from the forward line to the back line. That we need to be solid, we need to be hard to beat, and create that mentality so that we don't concede as much as we're conceding just now.
Has that been quite a frustrating element that you've ran into that sort of problem more than once?
Conceding goals.
Yeah, that it's happened quite often.
Yeah, of course it's frustrating. You don't want that to happen. You don't want to concede goals, especially as a defender, goalkeeper. You pride yourself on keeping the ball away from the goal and not conceding goals, and that's something that, as I say, we need to change because that's not good enough.
John, what are you made of?
Sorry, is there a danger if you try and be more defensively organised or structured that you lose the attacking side of it that's working so well?
I think you can do both. I think we've got the attackers in the team. You've seen in European games where we've defended really well, and our attackers have had 2 or 3 chances and scored 2 or 3 goals. So our attackers are more than capable of doing it. So yeah, as a full team, we just need to be more solid and harder for the opposition to create chances.
As a group, are you feeling quite positive about things that you're scoring goals, that you're showing character and fighting back, going into such a big week?
Yeah, of course, everyone's feeling positive. I think we've had a good few weeks. Obviously, the back of the European one, the Old Firm, Dundee. So yeah, everyone is feeling positive. But as I say, there's that underlining thing that nobody wants to give up chances like we did the other night. We shouldn't have to do as much as we did to win the game. So yeah, it's something we've looked at this week, and yeah, everyone's on it for the weekend.
I think, John, you're suspended for the first European game, but you think you're confident that the boys will be able to kind of concentrate in the game in the weekend, even with that in mind? It's also such a big game next Thursday night.
Yeah, I think so. Nobody's even really mentioned it, to be honest. Everyone's been fully focused on the weekend. I think everyone's playing for their place on next Thursday, and everyone has to perform at the weekend to do that. So yeah, everyone's fully focused this weekend.
Is that going to be a hard watch for you next Thursday night?
Yeah, of course it'll be a hard watch, but to be honest, it's not about me, it's about the team. So if I don't play and we win, then I couldn't care less.
John, what have you made of Hibs' run, and what sort of test do you expect?
Yeah, Hibs have obviously had a really good turn of form. I've watched quite a few of their games, so yeah, they've looked good, and it'll be a tough one on the weekend.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
I don't know if there was that much in that, Albert, but I think he's playing tomorrow. Yeah, I think he's playing.
He might very well, mate. Yeah. Aye, he's. How many times they asked him about the defence? He kept going on and on. You're gonna, just stop. Talk about the Hibs game. Let's go to him. But eventually get round to the Hibs game. The last question.
I don't think we solved some of our defensive problems till we solved our goalkeeper. Get his form back and consistency. Southside, I've got to be honest.
Well, I was going to. I get told something. I'm not sure, but somebody was telling me Clement's last 9 league games. I think the boy told me we lost 9 goals. Since we've changed to this back 3, we're losing goals all over the place. So, is a simple solution to play a back 4 and get away for this 3 and that, because we've lost 7, 8, 9 goals in 4 games.
Well, the last.
So we're leaking goals, right?
3 against Dundee, 2 against Atmob, 2 against Fenerbahce. Yeah, there's 7 in the last 3 games we've played.
2 against Kilmarnock.
Yeah, that was a bit further back.
Was it further back in the last away game? So we're leaking goals, know what I mean? Where we hadn't been leaking as many, but like you say, you can pull out a goalkeeping error, you can look at certain things that we've done wrong and as a defence, but maybe it's not suiting us. We might have had results through it, but we're losing goals through it as well.
Aye. Aye. It worked well away in Fenerbahce. We never kept a clean sheet, but that was a counter-attacking game, all better.
Aye, it's and we played the 3 that night. Aye, you're right. It works in certain. It depends what you're looking for, but how many of the results has went our way in the 9 games? We're playing the back 3. Okay, we're losing goals, but as you said, it's the results that matter. It's no just keeping goals out. I mean, 2 games we won 4-3 against Dartmoor. The what you call them, the Bilbao. We won 4-3 and 4-3. You take that, wouldn't you? We wouldn't be shouting and bawling about that. It's just one of those things. It's just. And Saturday, it just looked and was a
4-3 and 4-3, mate. They better get an extension at that Queen Elizabeth quicker, mate. You know what I mean?
Exciting to watch, I suppose. Aye. No good for the health, but exciting to watch.
The Queen Elizabeth will need an extension, and is it DFS? They'll need an extension to everybody behind the sofa pulling on it. Anyway, we've been joined by David. Evening, David.
Evening, guys.
How are we doing, mate?
I'm just wondering what can we expect from tomorrow's game? I'm wondering if maybe we'll try some players in different positions for the Bilbao game, because I think pretty much the rest of this season's a bounce game, but we do have some bragging rights to maintain and keep the points deficit as low as possible.
I don't know if we'll see people in different positions. I think Southside there's a chance of different personnel.
Aye, I think, well, David, if he maybe brought Danilo in the team and say Czerny wasn't getting risked, and we maybe seen the appearance of Cortez on the wing, on one by right or left, be a couple of changes to freshen it up. It'll be midfield. The only one we know Diamandi's going to be missing. But I still think Diamandi will play tomorrow. I think he'll work with shape probably after this game, David. I think his main priority and there will be, although all bears alluded to, he should be thinking more of the European game. I think their main focus is on just winning this game tomorrow. So I think Diamandi will play and I think Suter will play, if I'm perfectly honest. Although they don't play on Thursday in the home leg.
I tend to agree with you, but what kind of strength team are we going to put out and what kind of result can we expect? Because Hibs have started turning a corner a wee while ago. We're not great defensively if we're really honest about ourselves. It's the kind of broken dual personality of Rangers. We're brilliant in Europe, but we're rubbish in the league. That's been a downfall this year, is letting in goals. But I think if you actually look at it, we've got a lot of defenders who just hardly have played that. Rafael Fernandez was in for one game, which not been seen since. Inciala's hardly been played either. It's been Balogun and Suter, but no disrespect to them. They're not exactly the least injury prone. They're quite bad with injuries. So that's been the problem, if you think about it that way. It's just, I want to see something a wee bit different for this match, something that we can look forward to seeing in the Bilbao game, something maybe to try a different formation or style that Barry can do.
I think if there's anybody winning Rock stroke, i.e. Czerny, and if there's any others, they'll not be playing. But I think it'll be the majority of the team will be playing tomorrow or start tomorrow. Maybe 7 or 8 might start tomorrow that are going to be playing against Bilbao, David. You know, in an ideal world, you could maybe rest 11. But I don't think that will happen tomorrow. I really don't. Albert?
You're probably right, but all I'm saying is he shouldn't do it. He probably will play with the team you're saying, but it's madness. It's madness.
I'm not saying your argument's not right, Albert, but I think we've not got a. The problem is our squad is appallingly small, mate.
But it makes no difference, mate. They've still got enough to make 16 players up. You can have the ones that you don't want to risk on the bench if you have to. But Rice and all them should be starting, mate. Cortez, Danilo, they should be starting. Even Fernandez, I would start, and Seller, I would start the two of them as well. I know he'll no do it, but that's what he should be doing. It's as far as I'm concerned, the game on Thursday's the most important game. You don't take any risks with it. It's millions of pounds you're talking about here, guys. It's you've got to get your priorities right. And you beating Hibs tomorrow. Say we go out there and beat Hibs tomorrow. And I'll tell you nothing, no matter who we play tomorrow, you'll have to outscore them. I think that's a given now, isn't it? I think we just accept that this defence is not holding them to it. So you have to put your team out to score goals. So you might just abandon it, go to a Dundee, abandon the defence and just go for the all-out attack. Again, Fox likes that because he likes this exciting football. I quite like it myself, to be honest with you. It's good to watch, but it's no good to watch if the match actually meant something. Like the Dundee match didn't mean anything, did it? And it's good to watch. But if you're in a league race, you wouldn't want a game like that. You just don't. But I definitely think we'll have to outscore Hibs tomorrow, no matter who's playing.
I get that, mate. Our record suggests that, David.
It's just, I think it's been the thing. It's been the letdown for us all season, is the defence. If we had a wee bit more of a solid defence, we might have been a wee bit closer. But that's been the case for many, many years. If you actually think about it, we've not got many right backs, we've not got many left backs, we've not got a good experienced centre backs other than Balogun and Suter. The other ones are quite young. So it's been chopping and changing most of the season, if you think about it that way, and that's been the problem.
You forgot about Proper.
Honestly, hope he's gone next season. Proper's the worst one for me. All the centre backs, he's good in Europe because he's a ball playing defender, but in the Scottish League he's an absolute bomb scare. Anytime anybody puts any pressure on his shoulder, he just falls over. You can see that he's no a physical defender. If we were needing somebody that was Proper, I don't understand why we just didn't get Ben Davies back on loan. He's kind of similar to Proper in my eyes, but he's a wee bit stronger.
Southside.
I think Proper gets a hard time sometimes. I get at the start when he first came in, he admitted it himself. He found it a bit tough and strange league and that, more physical. But I think when Proper plays all right, and there's other players that have played well in the game, when we picked out man of the matches, and you're somebody saying Raskin or Dessers or whoever, Tierney, then he's had a solid game at the back. He's played well, but nobody really will get a mention. They'll only highlight him when he makes mistakes, and in the last wee while, I don't think he's made a mistake in any of the goals that we've lost. I know he's funny sell at the team, but I think he'll play tomorrow. I think he'll start tomorrow. But apart from that, we've leaked goals, David. We've been inconsistent all season, and probably by the time the season finishes, we could end up beating them 3 times in the league this year. Although it means nothing, but it's a psychological thing, Gets us used to beating them on a regular basis for the start of next season. That's what you've got to look at. And the squad's never near even built yet. And there'll be a lot of players leaving and that. So we've got that it's a psychological thing with the squad as well. Because everybody keeps saying we couldn't beat them, so we've beaten them at the moment, and that's the way it is. But we've got to build the squad. Hibs will be a big threat tomorrow. They're coming with confidence. And the defence needs to be right. And I don't know if we'd be better going back to a back four tomorrow. Starting with a back four. Would you start with a back four, David?
For me, the back four should be Sterling, Balogun, Suter, and Jeffrey. Just because I think Gilma's last game he was absolutely stinking against Dundee. That's what I would pay as the back four. Obviously, the goalkeeper picks itself. Even though Jack Butland is a wee bit rubbish to know as well, but it's whether or not Liam Kelly's ready to step in as that first choice goalkeeper, and I just don't think he is. Midfield wise, I think we're actually all right. We could do with a couple more people in there. But I think in the midfield's something that the 49ers will definitely be looking at next season to build upon. I'd really like Billy Rice to get a start, and I think we really need to see that Brazilian boy up the top. I can't remember his name. Yeah, I don't think he's started once under Barry Ferguson, and maybe that's a problem. I think that's maybe a warning sign for me. But I think Dessers gets a really hard time. I know he misses goals, but at least he's there to take them. And where would we be without his goals if you think about it that way? He's been carrying, and his goals has been carrying us on his back a wee bit if you think about it.
Are you still crying about Haji's performance, David?
I don't know. I think Haji's never been the same ever since he got that injury for me, and he was stretchered out for a good portion of the season. I think he actually posted a photo up the scars on his legs for that I think it was the Hibs players that done it to him. And he's just never been the same. He's not exactly a cam, which is I think he wants to be. I think he's more of a false 10, but he's that kind of guy. He's got the invention and vision that a lot of the players don't seem to have. But I don't think he's the guy that you need linking up the play, which is what Dessers needs. He needs somebody to pass the ball into his feet and somebody to take out an extra defender for him. And Haji's not that guy.
I think obviously I don't think his heart's in it now. I think he came back, gave it a go. I think the contract situation moved on, and it's time to shake hands and move on. I don't think he brings a lot to. I agree with you. He was very unlucky with his injury. I wasn't his biggest fan. However, I know he's got ability, but I think it's best for all parties. Southside, then Albert.
Haji, we've had the debate. I think he's done more in the Rangers jersey than some of the players that are going out the door this season. But at the moment, switch counts here and now. He came back after the contract dispute, and he started contributing. And then he said bad bits of form along with the rest of the team. When they seem to collapse, they all collapse at the one time. You never say you could go, well, Haji had a good game, or Danilo had a good game, or Czerny was good today. No, it's usually just a bad performance across the board. But I would like to see going forward, once the pressure's off in the next few games, I'd like to see Finlay Curtis get a chance. If he would try and give Bailey Rice a chance at some point, we've got to maybe rest in between then. I'd like to see it happen, but that'll be down to Barry. At the end of the day, he'll tell you we've got to win games. It's about confidence in that. You could change the team totally tomorrow, and maybe come on unstuck, get beat. Then you get into that game on Thursday, you've rested all your players, and we're not up to the task that night either. So, and then what will you say? So, for me, we win the game tomorrow. If he makes a few changes tomorrow, I'll be happy with that. And we'll see what type of system. If he's going with the back three tomorrow, then that's what he's going to play against Atletico on Thursday, I would imagine. But there's no reason why we couldn't play a back four tomorrow against Hibs. But it'll be his decision. And like I say, players do pick up injuries, not be a gamble. If we could get a couple of goals up like we did at Easter Road, come out, fly and get the goals, then you could maybe make a couple of changes. But Hibs will be in the game tomorrow. They'll cause us a lot of problems. And we just need to make sure that Jack Bolton's on his game, unless Albert wants to drop him and keep him in case he gets injured and play Kelly.
I would drop Jack Butland permanently. Glad man.
Just
for the morrow.
I think Albert wants to play with more and hopes that he's injured.
That would take him out the team altogether. Altogether, mate. I mean, if you get injuries, if they don't play well, if. It's all if. But it's a managerial decision, mate, and it's what's best for the club. That's the way I'm looking at it. And playing Hibs tomorrow with your strongest team is no best for the club. It's as simple as that, mate. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And he should be thinking the same way. We should be all concentrated on Thursday, mate. That's the game. That's the game we're all interested in. That's the game the club's interested. That's the club. That's the game that's got the biggest return for us as a club. So we've got to look at that. That's all I'm saying, mate. But he'll not do it. He's limited. As far as I'm concerned, I've just got one of the points David made about fullbacks and centre halves. We started off the season with 6 fullbacks, David, and 5 centre halves. That's what we started off with. And we ended up, we could hardly put a defence on the park for all the injuries and whatever, out of form or whatever. So that's what we started off with, six fullbacks and 5 centre halves. It's hard to believe, but it's true.
David.
Just one wee final question for you all, just before I head off. What do you think Barry would have to do in order to get the Rangers job permanently next season?
Oh, if we can get through this European tie, I would think that the support would start looking at them collectively slightly different, and momentum could grow. Domestically, obviously, you want to keep winning. We start tomorrow and keep winning, but then you've got the problem going forward that you've got more games that don't become your priority. I would say that the European thing would be a priority, and if it could get us through this tie, momentum would grow. Southside.
You will need to put Bilbao out. And I think if we put Bilbao out, because I think they're one of the strongest teams that's sort of left in this sort of competition, then it would probably put his kudos up a bit, but they might sit and have a look at him. But I don't believe David will get it anyway. But he needs to he needs to win tomorrow to start with it. You need to beat Hibs, because there's no point in putting a beaten team out, or make a couple of changes, make 2 or 3 changes. I'll get that, but don't put out a beaten team. Get beat tomorrow, then we've still got a game to play against Aberdeen and all in between this game. So they're huge games, mate. But he's just got to go out and try and win every one as much as he can. Ibrox being at first, it's the biggest game, and we need to have everybody on it. But putting them out, I think then they would maybe have a look, and maybe they'd have a stare and think, all right, that's some achievement. Because let's not be kidded, Atletico Bilbao, I don't know about their suspensions, the way it works in the new UEFA, because we've got Diamondi out again after missing the game at Manchester United, and he's out again. So I don't know how they're fixed with suspensions, but they're a class team. And if we can knock them out our 2 legs, then I think they'd maybe have a look at them and start thinking. But it's a massive job. And you do need an experienced manager as well. We're leaking goals, David, and that. He's got the passion, the desire, and that. But you need to have I think our next appointment as a manager is really important. But we can't be going another season in this position where we are now. I'd like to be in the same position in Europe, but no in any, as in the Cups and the league, no. So we need a proper, and I need an experienced, probably manager coming in, David, and he needs to get it right straight away. It's just my opinion, but I'm delighted Barry's there, and as I've said on here, David, he epitomises everything I want in a Rangers player, and he's certainly trying to install that into this squad of players, and hopefully they'll all take it on board.
Olga.
I think the only way he's getting the job is winning the UEFA Cup, mate. Winning games, doesn't matter if he wins league games through to the end of the season, it'll make no difference, mate. It's the UEFA Cup. That's his proving ground, mate. And it's a tough gig, that one, to do that for this squad. I'll tell you that right now. But nothing's impossible in football, as they keep saying. I kind of totally believe that myself. But if he beats Hibs, beats Celtic, beats Aberdeen, beats whoever next up, mean nothing to him. He's there to sell season tickets. I said that at the beginning, and they started the day or yesterday. They started on sale. So he's to do that. But if he's truly going to get the only chance, any chance of getting the job, in my opinion, is by winning that UEFA Cup. Then he's in with a shout. Then he's in with an argument to say, win the UEFA Cup for you, and you're not even going to give me an interview for the job. He's definitely got a shout, mate. But that's a tough ask. But I don't think he'll get the job just by winning league games, mate, because meaningless league games as well. You don't lose sight of that. It's just they're meaningless. He was there to sell season tickets because we're on free fall there. And they knew it, and they say we better bring him in. They brought him in, he got us all going, he beats them up there at Park Keys, gets us through to the next. That's his big achievement, getting us through to the next round, the quarterfinals. And then a couple of brilliant fight backs for a position that we got ourselves into, but we fought back and won the game. But it means nothing long term, mate. It all means nothing long term. Plus, as I said, these decisions for the Mora in these next two games, these managerial decisions with his squad and his players, it's going to go a long, long way, mate, for his own future. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting, mate. But I don't think the games matter, mate. Really, it's great to win them. Of course, you want to win them. I think we should win them with the boys or the people that don't feature in the first team, like Barami as well. We're all forgetting about him. Each time he showed up to the party, the more is the ideal game for him to come on and say, right, Diamandi's suspended, play me instead of Diamandi, and I'll show you what I can do in a Hibs game. But we are thought for playing him against the UEFA game. But we'll see, mate. That's just, I know that you're right. He's going to play something similar to the teams you've been talking about. I just think it's wrong, but that's just my opinion, mate.
David?
I think anything short of either getting to the final or winning it, I don't think he's in the shout yet. I think the Americans will have the right guy picked to it, and I think the tail of the manager is going to show where we're going to go as a club. I think that's the first big statement. If we're getting a manager that's a big name or somebody that's known as being well tactically versed, that will show us where we're going to go as a club in the next couple of years. So I think no matter what he does in the league, unless he reaches the final or he wins it, I don't think he's getting the job.
I think you've been realistic. I think we all sort of get where you're coming from with that Southside.
Aye, listen, that was his remit. You know, his remit was to come in and give the place a lift and try and install attitudes and what the club means and the attitude of playing for Rangers, pass on your experiences. Every one of the players, if I was in that dressing room and now listening to them talking, then you'd stand up and take note. No, you'd be like, right, because you've been here, seen it, done it, won the trophies and also took heavy defeats at times and lost games and you've done the experience, so you can't do nothing but learn. But it'll only come into these football players that's in that squad if they really take it on. You know, I mean, there's only so many times you will be able to shout and ball at them and all that and say this and that and the standards and this isn't good enough. But we need better players. We need a better squad. This is the reality. We need to improve the squad. And like David said, it will be probably we'll see when the manager comes in. If we know him, is he a name? I'm sure everybody will know Jurgen Klopp when he walks in. But apart from that, that's when we'll have an idea about, and then we'll find out when they take over and what they're going to say. But I think we need to put money in. I think there'll be money going in anyway, and I'm hoping they'll be thinking about 25 to 30 million and just put it in, and then we can sort out the rest of the sponsorship deals and everything else they might bring along with them as it goes. But we've been putting in that amount of money in the last couple of seasons anyway, trying to rebuild squads, and we'll be selling players as well. So there should be no reason why we shouldn't be spending around about the 25 million mark to start with on a group of players.
Aye, if it's done and dusted, you know, I'm here in April, but it could go into May, and if that's true, and it is an if, yeah, I'm not saying it's not 100%, it's 100% all better, is it? But however, it could be interesting in the summer.
Aye, definitely. I mean, I would expect at least between 18, 25 million you spent in the team anyway, you know what I mean? Just as a matter of fact, just for trading model before anybody comes in, I would expect that you get spent anyway. So we'll see. But if it's no spent and if they come in and try and do it on the cheap, we're back to square one. That's even if they come in and take over. If we try to do it in the cheap, like I've only spent 10 million this time and see what we can get. That's not going to work, mate. It's just not going to work because you've got a skeleton of a team or a squad. Right now, you've got that skeletons there. You need to start putting the flesh on it now, mate. You really do. And if we do it, I can see some a decent team, mate. But again, well, no. Again, we're in no man's land. We're guessing and hoping and thinking aloud, but. Definitely the money coming in. The players that are going out, they're going to generate some money. And normally they have a 10 to 13 million pound a season, every season, at the start of every season, to spend in players.
Remember the wages we get rid of as well, but some of the wages we get rid of.
Aye, so to 18, 25 million is not beyond reasonable request, is it? Or a hope. It's no that we're expecting them to come in and get us £100 million to spend in players. We're not expecting that. But we're also not expecting not to spend money in players and bring players in. We need to bring some players in. That's a given. We can argue on it all night long, all week long, who it is, what positions, and that's a good wee exercise to get into. But I think we all know we need a defence. I don't think anybody's arguing that anymore. We need a defence. Some people are arguing that we do need a goalkeeper. We don't need a goalkeeper. I'm in the we do need a goalkeeper. Camp. So, and I didn't think. I mean, that's money we'll have to spend on a goalkeeper, but we don't really want to spend on a goalkeeper because you've got other positions to strengthen. But now we'll have to strengthen something we thought we'd sorted. But it's clearly the word no. He's not a good goalkeeper. Not in my eyes, anyway.
No consistent, that's for sure. Outside.
Aye, we know we've got to buy players and we've got to find players. My wee pal sent me something. He sent me stats on that Anusa boy that's playing the now. And he said he looks good. He's valued about €3 million. He's coming out of contract. I think we'd looked at him before. He's got 6 goals and 3 assists in the games he's played. He's started 18 games. But he liked to look at him and he says to me, maybe that's somebody that we could go and maybe get. Tell his contract, I'm just trying to read it. His contract's up to 2027. But he believes that we'd looked at him before and he sent me stuff out and stats about him and that, and he said he'd be a good addition to our squad and maybe he'd be a player we'd be trying to get. But we need to get loads of players for different positions. Probably need 2 wingers, to be honest. We need 2 centre backs. We'll need another probably 2 midfielders. You need a right back. So left back maybe, if one goes. So aye, we've got loads of positions to fill. That's no doubt. And the ones that will get kept, we'll need to make sure that they're adding to the players that come in, and maybe some will have to fight for their place. Others might come in and take over, and that's just the way it is. So we've got to make the squad stronger and better. So hopefully that's what will happen in the summer, because we've badly missed it over the last 2 transfer windows when we've been trying to do it. It's never been good enough. So hopefully some of these players for this season will be there next season, and then we can add to it, and it'll hopefully be a lot stronger.
If some of the loanies, if all the loanies disappear, Davis, Dow, Matondo, and what's his name? The one that went to Greece?
Cervantes.
Cervantes, that's it. I forgot about that. Sorry, well done, all, but you could be bringing in money there, and obviously getting them off the wage bill as an added bonus, all there,
Well, they need to go, and the wee boy Fraser needs to go. There's other boys. There's a boy McMillan, Southside. Who's the one that is it? Eardy? Somebody's out there anyway. They need to go. There's a few need to go, mate. And you got to remember a load of that B team are all over the place as well, so they need to go as well, because we've not got a B team unless the Americans decide to reinvent the youth system again or set up, because usually they're big on youth. So we need to clear the decks, get the money where we can get the money, get players off the books that we want to get off the books, like Lawrence, Hadji, they need to go. Maybe Tar. But if enough go, there might even be room to keep Tar. You never know, mate. But he's now got his testimonial, and I don't know, it's happened before, that they want rid of a player before they have to pay a testimonial. And I think this Patrick Stewart is a bit ruthless when it comes to most things. So he might be ruthless with that, and he don't get any testimonial. I'm laughing, but I'm not laughing. I think the boy deserves a testimonial, to be honest with you. But it's not about sentimentality. It's about hard cash, isn't it? It's all about hard cash, mate.
Oh, it's interesting. And most of the players should go, and then you've got the Dessers, Danilo argument, what you do with all them, because 2 years into their 4-year contract, their stock's going to fall. This is the ideal time to sell them. You know, you've got that with Buckland as well. You know, it's a puzzle.
Desser's got to go for his age. Desser's got to go for his age, just for his age. Forget about if he's a good, bad, or different player. He's just got to go for his age. If you're going to get an offer for him, you've got to take it. And by the way, I would say, I was talking to Southside the other day, but I would say he's worth £6 million. I mean, you've got to other teams who he would get away with a lot of stuff that you can't get away with at Rangers. His goals are there. So you're selling a player. We don't think a particularly good goal scorer and a good reliable one, but you're selling a player that scores goals. They don't come cheap.
Aye, Southside.
Aye, it's the way it is. I think Dessers should command a minimum of £4.5 million upwards. When we go to sell him in the summer, should somebody come in, I think that wouldn't be unreasonable to think we can get it, and that should be about the minimum. And if we can get up to like 6 million, 7 million push, then we should take it. But apart from that, I think we better get the tune time.
Right, okay. Until the time, you know.
You can, but I seen the big angry face waving the horns, and you know what he's like for time, and you've just been over it. So I'm just taking the hint and just thinking I'll go off and let everybody hear the tune.
Always big angry face. He's been dumped again, isn't he? Dumped again. You think you'd be used to it, wouldn't you? Anyway, get yourselves some mutes, gentlemen, because we're going to have a tune.
So
Hi, welcome to Southside Super 6 for April the 5th. This weekend we're going for over 2.5 goals. First selection this weekend is West Ham and Bournemouth. Second selection is Peterborough and Northampton. The third selection is Fleetwood and Swindon. The fourth selection is Raith and Ayr. The fifth selection is Falkirk and Greenock Morton. And the sixth selection is Edinburgh FC against Clyde. If you take all six, it pays 46.5 to 1. Since it's Grand National weekend, my tip this weekend is intense raffles at 12 to 1.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
How many runners are in the Grand National?
40.
It's only 39 I've picked for now.
Well, I'm going for Stevie from Nick Rocket, and I picked it because it's colours, mate. There you go. You look it up,
like
mate.
that. I like that.
Yes. Anyway, aye, good luck, Southside. Good luck, mate. Do you feel this is a week? Are you feeling it in your water, or have you get rid of that infection? Oh, there must be a way doing autographs or something. Southside. Is this the week? All better, is this the week?
Super 6 up and the winner of the National. Oh, that's a hell of a weekend, eh?
Anyway, we've been joined by Hugh. Evening, Hugh.
Good evening, Rangers Radio. I'm pleased to speak to you all tonight. This has been really playing on my heart all week.
Get it off your chest.
I just need to say this. When do people who run our club not allow us? Now, I'm sorry to say this, and I don't know if this is going to come out right. When does our club ever stop being a club for everybody else, apart from a Protestant institution, which is what we are?
Yeah, I get that, mate. You're not alone in some of these thoughts, mate. Look, we know what we are, and we know what we've came for, and it'll never change us as a group of supporters. Southside.
Yes, but it's okay. It's okay, Ox, saying they will never change us as supporters. But the players that play for us are not going to win his trophies because they don't care.
Yeah, by the way, I think that's a trait of modern football, but that's another story. You all bearing you come, mate.
I see what you're saying, Hugh, and I agree with you. Well, but it's at the end of the day, we keep getting told it's this multicultural nonsense. You know what I mean? And we've all to fit in together and all work together. It doesn't seem to be working that way, does it? But I see what you're saying, mate. And the thing that annoys me about it all is the Rangers fans get attacked all the time, and now we're getting attacked with our own people inside the club. Want to ban people for a banner for life, mate. It's crazy. You're sitting going, get a grip, mate. This is not right, this at all. But they go over the top with everything they're doing, mate.
Well, excuse me, Albert. I said this to your receptionist 5 minutes ago, and it breaks my heart to think that Rangers have been treated like this, and our supporters have been treated with disgrace. It's disgusting. It really is disgusting to my father and everybody's father who's been brought up in the right way. Protestant faith is getting killed or whacked from wall to wall by these scum. They really are. It's disgraceful.
It is, mate. It is.
Are you back with us, Southside? Oh, if you see me, I lost him. See me, I lost Southside. Hopefully he's all right, all better.
You hear me now?
Yes, we can, mate. Are you back with us?
Don't know what it is. Aye, listen, we could. You can see what's sort of crept into the club in the last wee while. We had our own director saying the traditions and the heritage was holding the club back about 3 or 4 years ago, and when he was standing in George Square. So, and came for a guy who supposedly went on a bus in the 1960s, 70s, followed Rangers on the buses and went home and away. So there's things changing in society as we see all over the world, and it is what it is. But the one thing they can't take away from is our culture and our heritage. They can try and have a go at it, which they are at the moment, but whether they succeed or no, they'll soon find out as it goes on.
Hugh, if you're looking at the football tomorrow and you're looking at Thursday night, you're a man that likes the tactical side of the game. Where's your priorities lie? Saturday.
Well, my priorities lie in every game. One, they lie tomorrow because we're playing a set of. I don't really know what to say to you because I don't want to upset the programme or the show. Yeah. A set of Fenians or Thames or whatever they want to call them. I don't know what they call them. But for money-wise, Thursday's got to be the more important game. But surely, our board must see there is more passion in Barry Ferguson, Neil McCann, and that backroom staff than there ever was in that Baldy guy. Now, if that cannot drive you forward, we're not Rangers Football Club. Rangers Football Club should say, right, you will take a lot of you out in one swell swoop. We'll take the lot of you, and that includes them across the city.
Watch about the hairism jokes, mate. You might get your brother upset, you know.
Listen, whether my brother's upset or not, right, I know the way my brother feels, right? I know the way my brother feels. And I'll say this, I've never felt so hurt as our board. A team was like, nothing.
Yeah, we're in a state of flux, and it's going to be interesting how it all pans out and how it works out. But what we've also got to do here is make sure we don't score own goals. Yeah, we're in a war, and it's a different kind of war. Albert.
Definitely, mate. I don't disagree with you at all. At the end of the day, the thing is, we're Protestants. We're always going to be Protestants and proud to be Protestants, and that's the end to it, mate. They can say what they want.
Listen, Albert, right? When my dad brought me up, he said one thing: you'll always be a Protestant until the day you die. But our club don't even feel like that. Then you say, who are you? Oh, well, I'm coloured. Oh, I'm Asian. I'm white, but I've got Catholic tendencies. And we allow them all to come in. Why?
Albert, can you hear me? Something's happening with my mic.
Oh, seem to have technicals. You back there? You back?
Aye,
Yep.
but I'll try it again in a minute. I think I'm getting cut off all the time.
Aye, I lost you, and I lost you. And are you there, Robert?
Yeah, yep. Okay.
Hopefully you can get back in. Yeah, aye, listen, we're in a state of change. It's going to be interesting what happens with the club. we're of a certain vintage, and we'll see what happens and it develops and where it takes us. Yeah.
It is, mate. It's getting to a stage now that everybody's starting to get worried and everybody's starting to get concerned. It's just one of the things. The world's changing, of course. It's changing. It's. Do you agree with it? I don't agree with it, but you've got to roll with the punches, as I say. End of the day, it's nothing you can do in a solid base because there's too many people not prepared to stand up, and that's a fact, mate. They're just they're quite happy to let things just roll over the top of them and without saying anything. For example, the carry on of them in their court cases and them trying to tell everybody they're no guilty of anything. You know what I mean? It's the utter stupidity of that situation. But it's this country, mate. It's the way this country's gone at the moment. And you heard.
I've been joined by Bob Ger. Evening, Bob Ger.
Evening, everybody. How you doing? Is Hughie gone or is he still there?
He's gone, mate. He's gone.
Well, I was proud to hear his emotional attachment to the club. If more people felt like that about the club, we'd maybe be in a better place. But, as I was going to say to the man, we're living in the days of extreme political correctness, and there's nothing you can do about it. And Rangers Football Club seem to be one of the biggest targets for it. And we all know why. But we are who we are, we'll always be who we are, and nobody will take your heritage away from us. That's my take on it, basically, simple and basically. We're Rangers and we'll always be Rangers. Whatever transpires in the future, well, that's it. There's not a lot we can do about it. It's the day and age that we live in.
You're shoulder to shoulder with your supporter, you know your way, mate. But listen, I just hope that we don't have own goals, mate. Yeah, because of the competition, particularly in Europe, mate. You're under a microscope, and some of the things that they pick up are crazy. But they own you. They own you in the tournaments, mate. And we don't want. We've had closures already a couple of years back, a few years back now, which part of the run. We just don't want that again, mate. We don't want it. I'm not saying the boys should have put up banners, but just think what they do. Southside.
Hear me now, aye.
Keep talking.
Aye, can you hear me all right? Aye.
Keep talking, you're on.
Anyway, Bob, listen, as much as everybody says, I've followed the Rangers for a long time, right? And I've never, ever known the Rangers support to welcome or unwelcome to any other faith or anybody that's followed us, right? And all my lifetime, we've got many different cultures that follow Rangers home, away and abroad, and we've always been welcome as a club. So I get that factor straight away, and all my lifetime I follow, like I say, I've never seen it, heard it or anything like that in my lifetime of following Rangers. This is just sort of stemmed for a banner and kicked off through UEFA, and Rangers are coming down hard now on us as a support. I get coin throwing, flares and stuff like that, that's all in goals. Flares, I think, is all right. I like it. I think it brings colour to the stadium and stuff. But if it's a no-no and it's got to be a no-no, then it will have to be that, and we'll have to go another way. Do the tifos and do the banners. Stop throwing missiles. I don't care what other club does it. We know they do it. There's other clubs out there have done it to your players many a time. But us as a support need to stop it. And it's no always blaming the young boys because it's come out the governor or that section. In the corner, it's come out the enclosures and stuff in the past and lately. So it's been happening all over our stadium at certain times, and that we need to eradicate with the club. That doesn't
goal outside, and that's what you're saying, mate. You know, listen, the flares don't. They don't. I think they bring a bit of colour, but I don't get caught up with it. If you speak to old school blue, he loves a bit of pyro. Anyway, we've been joined by Nunca. Evening, Nunca.
Good evening, boys.
How we doing?
Thanks for taking my call. I'm no bad. Thanks for asking. I heard the chap there that was. I'm just kind of in, so it was in and out of what he was saying. But I was wanting to phone up with a few points regardless. And you're talking about the banner there, boys, and I've not got any connection with the Union Bears, but I personally, as a Rangers supporter, are fuming with the club. We talking about this lifetime bans. There was nothing that defined discriminatory or racist in that banner, and I just heard Southside say there, we've been a club that welcome everybody, and it's a case of everyone and anyone, but the supporters feeling it's anyone and everyone except for us. And I made a point in the chat the other night. We all know that Sati Singh, he's Indian restaurant, and it's well documented. Him and his family are big Rangers fans. Now, these are men that have pumped a lot of money into the club early years as well. I don't know if they're shareholders or what. I just know, he's got a box and different things, and we've got an Indian following as well that's in volume. We're creeping up every year with different what's the word, ethnicities, right? But what do we don't open up the stadium to celebrate Diwali for Sati Singh and other Indian supporters of our club. We don't, even for ourselves, for it's the period of Lent now before Easter, and a lot of people think that Lent is just a Roman Catholicism thing, and we're that club early road are proudly RC, and I'm not saying there's anything respect to that. That's their thing and that's their club. So why are we ashamed or being made to feel ashamed because we were birthed, the Protestant Reformation? That's our following. That's been our club, and we have adapted and changed early years. And I'll just mention, Len, it says, I don't want to go holy on you, but as we know, Oxford, it's a sad thing in society that we have fell away from church as a rule, but we as Protestants, we follow the scriptures and the word of God. We might not put ash in our forehead, but I know people that actually participate in a bit of fasting and different things, and Lent for me is to try and read the Psalms, the penitential Psalms, and to try and feel closer to God. And it's just a shame, and I think a lot of people will agree, it's a shame as a society that we have fell away from church, because we are a Church of Scotland. There's a personal reverend in the club, and as I say, there's other, there's Chinese New Year. We've got Chinese supporters. Why are we opening the club up and make
what you're saying, if it's everyone, what you're
everyone
saying,
and anyone, but
it should be for everyone and anyone.
Yes, but I'm sorry, I'm going on a bit, but it's just
point,
I'm passionate about it. I'm passionate about it, and I really, it's worrying. We see the demographics with cities and stuff changing, and I think it's a bit of an insult to those.
I've got to be really honest with you, and listen, first and foremost, we're a Rangers show. Politics, if we go down that line, it's going to get really messy on air, and it's going to be difficult.
I apologise for that.
No,
That's politics and religion I've kind of brought into it.
You brought in points, and you're no. Listen, as we talked to Hugh when Hugh was on, we understand what people are saying and how things are changing. And your point is, if it's for everyone and anyone, it should be open for everyone and anyone. And that's reasonable, Albert, isn't it?
Definitely. It's there. It's the you can say.
Just so you know, Nunca, before I bring Albert back in, Southside gave up getting a Super 6 up for Lent. Carry on, Albert.
Sorry, carry on, Albert.
What'd you say after that, by the way?
I'd suit me near Lent.
I'll never you having a confessional box now. You done to me.
On you go, Albert.
Aye, it's for everybody, and that's including us, the founders of the club. You know what I mean? It's I think a lot of people are forgetting that who founded the club and why it was founded. So it's time that they woke up and smelt the roses and saying, "Aye, we're inclusive. We welcome everybody." But we're not forgetting our roots. We cannot forget our roots, and we won't forget our roots, where we came from, what we're all about. So that's, I think, that's what Nunca's trying to say. It's a case of we're getting marginalised out of our own club, and that's not going to be happening. We're not going to allow that to happen. And I think the banner that the boys up, I agree, it's no discriminating, it's no racist in any way. It's just UEFA decided that that's what it was. But as Ox says, it's their ball. They can say what they want. It's their tournament. They're answerable to nobody. Them. They can do what they want. They can lie, cheat, and all the rest of it, but they answer to nobody. I don't even think they're outside the law. I mean, look at the COVID carry on. They just marched around Europe as a committee and jets all over the place without any restrictions placed on them. They're a law unto themselves, but they need to be brought. They need to be brought to heel. To be honest with you, they don't. They say they don't like religion. They don't like political stuff brought into the football. And all they do is talk about banning things here, there, and everywhere. They shouldn't be allowed to get away with that. It's not right. It's simply not right.
Yeah. Will you be going along tomorrow? Nunca 3 o'clock on a Saturday. It's unusual, isn't it? We'll talk about it later on.
I know, that's every other Saturday song, isn't it? It's very unusual. And everything's changed. Football's changed and what have you, but I'll just echo it again. We welcome everybody. We are not a discriminatory club or support, and I'm proud of that, and so should the supporters be. But the people at the top really need to have a think about these lifetime bans for the boys and lassies, because it's just not on. That's not who we are.
Yeah, maybe we should try and coach them a bit better. Yeah, a bit of dialogue would make sense, Southsider, and we'll bring Bob Jett back in.
Aye, I think going forward, I think in the statement that I read, I think that probably came from Patrick Stewart, there's going to be some dialogue, but it also came with everything else, with the warnings and this and that. And like what we're talking about, Nunca, it's no, missiles have been thrown at Ibrox, but it's happened in that section, I believe, but it also happened in other parts of our stadium, you know. So as a support, going forward, we need to box clever. We know we're on the watch list with UEFA as it was, and now they're coming down hard on us. So as a support, we need to box clever and we're travelling at Ibrox in the first leg and also at Bilbao in the return leg. I'm sure their policy there will make themselves welcome as normal in Spain. So we need to be careful, because when you travel to Spain and Italy and France, and the only place you sort of the Polish are usually good with you in Germany. They understand you and all that, and they're always good with you. They usually move the away support out the road to let you sit and have a drink and sing their songs, you know. They're usually fine, but the other countries apart from Eastern blocks, they're more handy with the battens. So you don't want anything to be put in the papers and all that, but it can easily develop.
Especially northern Spain.
Aye.
Yeah.
We've seen it in Osasuna and all that before in the past, you know, so there's plenty of experiences. But going forward, you spoke well and you said a lot of correct stuff, and it was good to hear you say it and speak. You spoke very eloquently.
Yes, too eloquently for us on here, if I'm being honest. Bob, Jer.
I couldn't agree more with what you were saying. Brilliant what you were saying. We've got to remember one thing, and we all know this, that we support Rangers, and the only thing you do with Rangers, you're standing on the edge of a political precipice all the time. I've never seen a club that comes under such bad scrutiny as we do. They're even going to ban a man for 8 games, they were suggesting, for a wee drop of water, and prosecute him as well. For God's sake. Is that how fickle it became? That's all been discussed, I know that, but it just shows the extreme lengths it all go to.
You've got to remember how dangerous that water is, mate. You're not being fair.
I know it. I mean, I went up and helped. I tell you last week, I went up and helped the bus to load the diesel and the sickening and the acid. You know, I couldn't help it with my big pal Mel. So that was it. So we were going to get a hose and a generator and spray about them, but then again,
you've got to look at the way the pressure that comes out of that. You know, these squeezy bottles, it's just unreal. You know, it's so dangerous.
I know, it's unbelievable. But I'll tell you another thing, Ted, it's always been a bugbear with me for a long time now. And I remember when we signed, and I'll say the name, we signed Mo Johnson, and all it was going to run Scottish society was it was going to go up in flames, and everybody was going to get flung out their house, there was going to be mass demonstrations, and everybody was going to get hung. And nothing happened. A couple of guys turned up with Rangers cards, set fire, and go tell to get on their way. That was the extent of what happened. The biggest controversial, what's the word I'm looking for? Controversial signing in the history of Scottish football. And it sailed past, and I was there that day, scored what he did against Aberdeen, and nobody jumped higher than me. That's what we are. We're a good, honest, decent, 100% magnanimous football club. And I wish to hell some of the authorities would just stand down in their place and leave us alone, because this week has proved that. And I don't even want to talk about that, because people will get listened to.
That's it, exactly. They can have their hateful flags and the other countries' flags and sing about killing Jews and everything else, and it's never spoke about. And we are just we are everybody and anybody. That's right. I couldn't have put it better myself, Bob. Yeah, exactly. Without even mentioning that thing, because you know, we'll just leave it at that.
I've heard of discrepancies.
Right. We'll move back to the soccer, right? Duncan, you've got a choice tomorrow or Thursday. What are you picking?
What do you mean, to get the result?
Yes.
Don't bite, Duncan, don't bite.
I need to see a draw away. A draw against Athletic Club.
Both games are at home, remember? Tomorrow and Thursday are both at home.
I thought we were away in Spain first.
Well, if they are, Southside's get his tickets, all right.
He's going to be sitting at Ibrox in a bikini.
No, we're at home first.
Oh, jeez, oh. Need to have a two. I need to see a win and a draw.
I'll wait Southside come in. Southside.
No playing any games, I've told you before. That's what you do to people when you get me try and pick. I tell you, don't bite nunca. It's a home win tomorrow and it's a home win on Thursday.
It's a home win in Thursday. Aye.
There you go. It's an easy answer. But Albert.
The Ibrox crowd under the lights.
Albert's a wise man. Albert.
I mean, the 2 wins would do me nicely, but I'm just saying about the team, who to play and who not to play. But the top priority is the Thursday. If you've got to win a game, it's the Thursday one you want to win, really want to win.
Yes. Aye. There's a lot of money involved as well, Bob Gerra.
Oh, hell of a lot of money in Europe, aye. The money's getting bigger every year. Rangers have done absolutely fantastic to get where they are, you know. Don't overlook that fact. And this tie, Athletic Bilbao is a good side, Spanish Primera Liga, excellent side, but there's a football team that can be beat. We give their best shot, you never know what can happen. Then you're into the semi-finals, and it's exciting enough to do. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, they said we couldn't do anything in Fenerbahce. They all had us. They were laughing and joking about us before we were going on the plane. So you just never know. You never know. And back to Rangers, and we'll see what happens. Maybe Cyril will be singing his song.
Aye, it's listen. You're right. I mean, if 2022 hasn't taught us anything, Southside, it's taught us that anything's possible, isn't it?
It is. You can get momentum, you get that bit of luck, and you go to that Thursday night under the lights at Ibrox, and this is a massive game against them, because they're a team I expect could probably go to the final. They're a good quality team, so if we can do a job in them, then I don't care after that. I'll not care who we get in the semi-finals. I'll just think, no, what, we're going to the final now. If we can put them out our two legs, I'll believe we're going to the final. And that'll be another unbelievable achievement when you see where we were at the start of this season, and we know that squad's nowhere near ready. But it can happen. But it'll be a massive game on Thursday night. I'm sure Ibrox will be loud and proud as well.
Aye, I'm looking forward to tomorrow, but I'm looking forward to Thursday night. I sort of accept Albert's argument. It doesn't always happen like that, Albert, does it?
No, it does not, mate. It's I'll be interested. I want to see what his managerial skills are going to be like for tomorrow. Not so much winning the game or anything, or what his tactics are. It's his managerial skills. I'm looking at to see how he's thinking about it. It sounds simple, mate, but it's not. And he's got real problems, mate. Real problems, because he's got, disregard who he plays and injuries, he's got these suspensions as well to cope with. It's not going to be easy. It's definitely not going to be easy.
Anyway, I think we've been joined by Big Stevie. He's popped in. Evening, Stephen.
How are you doing, troops?
Good, mate.
Good, mate.
All right, big man.
Hi, Stevie.
Listen, I'm just on the phone. Well said, by the way. Listen, Hen, it's great and refreshing. Somebody coming on and talking a lot of sense about our heritage, our football club, and everything else that goes along with it. Everything out there hates us, and we need to stick up with ourselves. So 10 out of 10 for the last of the night, by the way. And I know I'm on the phone for. Did we settle the bill today out at Ibrox for the teas and coffees, the Victoria sponges? Because we're out the door.
No chance. I'll tell you what. I get a thing with a bill through, but it came to my card. I don't know how it managed. I wasn't there, and he's managed to get it to my card. How did you do it?
Listen, I don't know what happened. Honestly, I came up and there was a lovely Victoria sponge and a can of juice. Big David's coffee and Victoria sponge, and Ant and Deck sitting across me. I wanted to see what they had. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And all I can remember is, oh no, Davy's got the electricity man coming, we need to run. So we ran out the door.
That old sketch.
That was that. But no, it was dead funny. There were a wee lassie standing in the shop, up the stair, and I was looking at one of the rubber ducks, and I see her looking at me. What's that big guy picking up? That's what I said. A rubber duck. No, the Rangers rubber ducks for the bath. So this wee lassie clocked me, and I was looking at her. She was looking at me, and I says, "Do you know what you call a duck? It takes drugs." She says, "No," I says, "a quackhead." So the two started laughing, but I put it down.
Was it after that you got asked to leave?
I'll tell you the day. I got a phone call. Right, we're in the cafe. You need to come in. I was getting the tablets, getting the business, getting the tickets, that. And that, by the way, I must say, see when I walked in, that old bear was dressed like a Lord Provost. He was immaculate. I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
Mrs. Albert turns him out really well, mate. Really well. The stuff's laid out every morning. He doesn't even have to think about it. Everything's took care of.
Spoiled man.
Oh, well, listen, when they made that
definitely, Nuka, definitely. I know it's side my breed's butterbone, by the way. Breakfast in the morning, everything before she goes to her work. Wonderful woman, wonderful.
And me Southside and Big Davy are sitting with Victoria sponges, £2.85, and Albert sitting with a big cake, and I'm going, much is that? And I looked up and I said, Albert, much was that? He said, that was £3. That's Madeira cake.
Oh, come on.
Oh.
You're better than that, Stevie.
Oh, come on, man. Right,
Stevie
listen,
boy.
I know. I'll leave the jokes to Ox.
That was the bad.
By the way, I must
that's
say...
his level.
Oh, aye. I must say, by the way, that it was a good wee gathering, by the way, and it was a pity we couldn't stay any longer because we were having a good laugh. And there's nothing like sitting in your club shop, a wee cup of tea with the bells, talking about Sunday, get up to Aberdeen and that with a tequila rose. No, brilliant. Brilliant. But listen, sorry for phoning up so late. Guess where I was? If I had one Sunday with paradise, right, Captain.
Aye, there was a few at the night.
Aye, yes. So anyway, listen, brilliant. I'll need to go here. I've got things to do here for tomorrow morning. There's a wee parade tomorrow morning, so I need to go and polish my boots. But listen, well done, Rangers Radio, and very refreshing. The lassie coming on there and sticking up for the troops. Well done. Over and out, troops.
Thank you.
Always remember, onwards and
You
upwards.
might not be sticking up for you with age jokes.
Oh, I've got my silk boxers on here. I'm getting in for a promise with my family. Right.
Right, we'll play a tune. You can come back on. Oh, what a man. What a man. Southside, what a man.
I know, the cheek to turn up with his high-vis vest on, with his name was on it. I know, I'm in it, Albert. It's got his name on it.
He looked very professional, by the way.
He did.
Oh, jeez, oh. Well, can I love you and leave you, boys?
Yeah, you can.
Stick the
It's great
kettle
to
on
hear
and
for you. Yeah.
listen to the rest of the show.
Cheers, Nunca. Thanks for the call. Always good to hear for you.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers,
See you later.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Right.
God bless you.
Bob, you've got a few hibbies out your way, so you'll be looking for a result tomorrow, just for the
Of course,
tomorrow.
I look for a result every time.
Aye.
One of the guys I played in the band was a season ticket holder at that place. He doesn't go new, he's old like me, but I'll be looking for it tomorrow, looking for a result. I like the 15-game run, that means nothing to me. We're at him tomorrow, we'll be too strong for them. That's my belief. But I better tell you, Zox, I was at the doctor today and I got a report.
Oh, no.
So, he says to me, Robert, I says, what is the doctor? He says, I'm afraid I've got some news for you. I says, what's that? He says, I'm afraid you're pregnant. I says, I can't be pregnant. Then he made daft. He says, well, he says, I'm afraid I've got it in front of me here. He says, all the tests prove conclusive that you're pregnant. I says, oh. I says, what am I going to do with that? He says, well, do you know who the father is? I says, what, you think I've got eyes in the back of my head? You're worse than Davies, okay. I'd take it one in the night, Ox, since they were flying about Madeira cakes.
Listen, there's only one thing I can say to you, Bob. Thanks for the call. Don't be a stranger. We'll speak to you soon.
I've had better days,
I don't know if it was worse than Madeira, right or off. That was.
Aye. Yeah.
Albert, what's happened to us tonight?
I don't know.
Man, you've got to laugh at something.
But, it's been good and interesting, by the way. That's what happens when the league's basically over, isn't it? You find other things to talk about, more important things, I may add. But it's good stuff. Good stuff.
Aye. Southside Suter, where do you stand in his contract? We never really get rid of
that. I think he's got experience. I think he's had some good games. I wouldn't think he's an automatic starter next year. Because I do believe we need at least two centre backs, and one will certainly be on the right, one on the left. I think we could bring NC Alva through as well, and we'll probably have to get another backup one. I don't even believe we might even go back for Casemiro, and I don't think the boy Fernandes is going to make it. So I think we probably need three at some point, centre backs and Suter to compete. I don't know Yeah,
what would you do with proper Southside? What would you do with proper?
Proper, I think going forward, we have to probably get better. And I think he's probably at the age where he can go back to Holland, probably. I don't believe he'd be on big money. I'm sure Compton spoke about it before, with players when he first came in were on ridiculous wages. So he said players had to be on a wage as well where you might be able to sell them. So I believe he'd be at that point where he could probably get back to Holland. So I would think 3 centre-backs, keep NCR, and start with him and Suter. But Suter will have to fight for his place. Can't be an automatic pick because we're looking to get better than John Suter. I know he's got in the long term going forward.
Aye. Mm-hmm. He's in a he's sort of peak his powers, isn't he? He's aging that all bear. And where do you stand? Would you extend?
Suter?
Aye.
Aye, definitely. I would give him I'd give him a couple of years. I wouldn't give him a 4-year, I'd give him a couple of years. An option here, another year after that. So, aye, you'll find that once you get a decent centre-half beside him, you'll see him coming on. He's not the main man for it for me. He's always a guy it's always better with the main man next to him. And he's a good siege defender. That's his forte, mate. When you're under real pressure, he usually performs really well, and that's a Hearts thing, isn't it? That's the standard he played it and get brought through it. But he's not so good when you've got the ball. When you've actually got the ball for long periods of the game, he's not so good. He can carry the ball good enough, and he can pass the ball to a decent level. I wouldn't say he's brilliant, but he can be a good defender when it comes to backs to the wall stuff.
What would you?
I actually think John Suter is one of the better players this year. I do. He's had quite a good season. And, well, I mean, if the boy thinks that he's maybe going to... Here's what's always at the back of your mind. If he thinks he's going to get a big money move to England, well, no, I don't think so. It wouldn't be in the top reaches of English football. But playing for Rangers, he's been steady enough this year, the boy, aye. And I'm with you, Ox. I would give him, I would give him another couple of years, aye. He's proved he can do it in the blue jersey. But that's all. I wouldn't give him any more. So we'll see what transpires with
him. Why? It'll be interesting to see what happens there. It'll be interesting to see what if there is centre-halves brought in where he ends up. Does he go down the pecking order, or does he take up the cudgel all better?
It depends who comes in. You're right, mate. And by the way, if you bring even 2 or 3 defender centre-halves in, and maybe a couple of our first team starters, you might drag him on to another level. You just don't know, do you? He might have it in him. Yeah. I wouldn't say. I don't think he'll roll over and just sit in a bench or anything like that. I think he'll fight. He'll fight hard to get back in the team. I think he's that type of guy, and he's overcame all sorts of serious injuries in his career, and he's fought back to get back into playing at a decent standard. Now he's playing international football. I know that's no great shapes playing with the tap and trannies, know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying? It's still international football, and loosely speaking.
Aye. That would be interesting to see how it pans out. Listen, I didn't think it at the start of the season, as you said, you pointed out all the players, but we've ended up with that could be that position potentially. That's for starter for 10 Southside, isn't
it? John Suter, like starting.
No, centre halves. Really.
Aye, we need to build. Aye, definitely. I think I wasn't through first at a time a good few months back. I thought, well, maybe if Casaviro comes back, then we hear that we're getting possible investment into the club and all that, and then that sort of changes dynamics. So, centre backs, I think you've got to build for a solid base, and you need the centre back sorted out. And John Suter is a good player, and he's had some cracking games this year, especially in Europe as well. He's flying his head in front of him, leading out of the bar, and he's a Rangers supporter. He knows what the club's about. But it's just about levels, and if he kicks on and he gets into a good run of form and there's the right side of your defence, that's great, because it's experience and he can drive the experience as well. But it'll be where we go in the transfer market auction and where we go first, and where the new manager sees where we need to buy. But there's no reason why you can't get competition. You can't just sit and say, oh, well, okay, he signed a 3-year deal, 4-year deal. That's it, sorted, he's a man, and he's form dips or something, so you've got to have competition for places and that. So it'll be no different for anybody else, whether he signs a deal or not.
Aye. All the powers with the player now, Bob J. Oh, we lost Bob J. Right. All the powers with the player, but all better.
That's it, mate. It's been like that for years now, and they know it. And more to the point, the agents know it. So whatever they want to get, basically. And his agent might even say to him, look, if you actually go abroad, you'll get more money, if that's what you're after. And let's be honest with it, you get a certain age in football, and that is what you're after. You should be after it for the beginning, I suppose, but because it's a short career. But if there's more money for him elsewhere, he'll be off. It's like anybody else, mate. It's like anybody else. It's just... we're kidding ourselves on saying they want to play for Rangers. They want to play for Rangers, but they also want pride. And we've now got this wage cap in place, and rightly so. I mean, that compensates, right? We're living like a Premiership club, and we're not a Premiership club. Dishing out contracts and wages that are ridiculous for where we're playing our football.
Aye. And the financial rewards you get domestically, there's sense in that. There's sense in that, And we're rewarding the guys that turn up all the time. We're rewarding a lot of guys that were sitting in the stand, either unfit or drapped, and it's mental. It's been mental. Southside.
Probably what the players have got built in at the start of the season for winning the league bonuses. If you win the league, probably for what you get, you're paying a good chunk of that back out in bonuses to the squad. It's how mad it is. But we've got to build a squad, and we're nowhere near it really. We've got a good bit to go, but we've got something there that we can build on with some of the players in that squad. And like I say, tomorrow might be a meaningless game to a lot of people, but it's a game we've got to win. We've got to keep momentum going. And you've got to look for a good result. End of the day, you're going to have probably close to 50,000 turning up tomorrow on a Saturday at 3 p.m. to watch Rangers. So I hope he makes a few changes, but hopefully we get the win, and I think it'll be a hard game, Ox. But we've got to get the result, and some of these players we're hoping is going to be there. So if they're going to be there next season, then they've got to make sure their attitude and their application's right. And what a lot of people say is a meaningless game compared to Thursday, which it is. But it's still a game of football, and it's a game that needs to be won, and it's 3 points for a league win, and we just need to make sure that we do it, and then people will stop talking about Hibs' 15-game undefeated run come to an end. I've said they've no beat us for 7 years. Records can come and happen like we're seeing now in the home form, but we need to sort it tomorrow. So I'm looking to make sure he's got a strong team out, and we hopefully have a good performance and get a good win, and then we can get players off when needed and rest them.
Aye. Listen, if we play what we did against the first 20 minutes against them at Easter Road, and we take our chances, the game could be finished in 20 minutes, but that's been part of the problem. And then we lost a cheap goal, didn't we? And then there was a theme over, wasn't there? A theme.
Aye, it's. I mean, the first 20 minutes, half an hour of that game, you'd have went, oof, we're blowing them away. I thought we were good every time we went up the park, we scored. Get 2-0 up, and then that switch gets thrown again. It's just what we do, innit? It's just a thing we do. And all of a sudden it's 2-each, and you're saying to yourself, well, here we go now, here we go. Then we managed to get it 3-2, and you think, we've won this. No, we're not finished yet. We're a strange team, mate. Strange team. But we can play some great football. Let's not kid ourselves. We're not a bad team. we're just inconsistent, and we can get up to some real nonsense that you don't think's possible. But we seem to manage it for some mental reason. But we don't lose the sight. We can play some good football. We've done it. We've seen it, and we can score some really good goals. But yeah, that's what it is. If you win tomorrow, we win tomorrow. It makes no difference one way or the other. I'd like to see it. I'm going to the game, so I'd like to see us winning, of course. And we've got the players there that can do it. It's going to be interesting to see the team he picks. Because I'll be honest with you, it can't be that anywhere near the team that's going to play on Thursday. I wouldn't imagine it would be.
Who would you play, Igaman or Dessers, or would you not play any of the two of them?
I would play Daniel and Igaman if I have to play them. Keep Dessers for Thursday. But I think Daniel and Igaman play better football together than that's the best combination up front we've got. With Cherny
When he was scoring his goals, Danilo was behind him, wasn't he, for a period?
By the way, I watched the Dundee game back the other day there, and Danilo, seen he come on, by the way. He had some game.
Mate. Aye.
Unbelievable. I was like, I knew he played well, but I didn't realise how well he actually played. He is a clever player, mate. He's got a brilliant football brain, and he has got good touch. I think.
Would that brain be wasted with Dessers, mate? Does that make sense? And that's not an insult.
Well, Igaman gave him chances through, so he's making the runs. Dessers making the run, and Igaman's found him at least 4 times, mate. So he does make a run, Dessers. So no, I think the starting player should be Danilo, and any one of the two pairing with him. I think we've got to run the wrong way that Dessers and either Danilo or Igaman partner him. It shouldn't be that way around. It should be Danilo's the main man, and one of the two play with him, because he can play with both of them. There's no doubt about that. He's done it. I think the guy's a good player. I like the boy. I think he's a really good player.
Anyway, we've reached that time of the evening. Are you with us, Bob? Are you gone?
I'm still here, pal. All right.
Last word for your good self, mate.
Well, thanks for having me on again. I really, really enjoyed the discussion tonight. But I've got to say this, and I'm sure you'll all agree. There is a flatness among us knowing that we're not going to do anything domestic this year. And whatever transpires with the takeover itself, this has got to change. It must change. I'm sure it will. Anyway, upon that note, thanks a lot. And no more bad jokes. Everyone I bring on you, you're all going to laugh at, I can guarantee you.
Cheers, mate. We always laugh at you, Bob.
I know you do. And if you're looking at a photo of me, you laugh even louder. Right. Have a good weekend, lads. It's a big week for us again. Come on then, Jeff. See you later, eh? Bye-bye.
Cheers, mate.
See you later, pal.
Cheers, mate. Albert.
Aye, good, unusual, informative show tonight, mate. We learned a few things tonight, didn't we?
Sure did.
Emotional. It had everything tonight, mate. Emotion, everything. Had it all going for us there. So I enjoyed it with big Southside and yourself. Take your team in the background now. Enjoyed that very much, mate. And I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow.
Cheers. Southside.
Aye, similar to what Albert was saying. We always say come on and talk about all things Rangers. So you never know what road you're going down or where it's going to take us.
You certainly don't.
It's been a good show. Enjoyed all the calls. And that's it. We're on to tomorrow. Hopefully get the win. Get the momentum going into Thursday. No injuries, hopefully. And a few goals. So looking forward to it. So as always, thanks for having us on. Great to be on with Albert and yourself. And there's only one team and one crown.
Okay, thanks to David who joined us, Huey, Nunca, Bob Chair, and of course the one and only Big Stevie. Great to hear from Stevie. Thanks to Southside and Albert for doing the show. Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll hopefully be back tomorrow night tomorrow afternoon with a pre-match show. But a lot of our personnel are at the football tomorrow, so it's difficult. Thanks for listening. Take it away, Old School Blue.